So I'm not going to look at it as if all my sins are covered. It's more of now that I'm aware of my sins, there's going to be some consequences, but I do need to change. It's going to be up to me to change and turn around and not continue to do the same things. A good example would be if a person overeats, and in the Bible it says that is a sin to overeat. If you continue to do that, the consequence is you're going to be overweight, and people are you going to see that you're overweight and not healthy, and that's the consequence, and that can't be covered unless you make a change and do something different.
Yes, definitely. What I would add to that here is, what is the definition of sin?
Miss the mark.
Miss the mark. And to be more specific, the Bible gives us a very clear definition of sin in 1 John chapter 3, verse 4, where it says sin is the transgression of the law.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to necessarily get into a theological discussion about this, but the point is that if sin is the transgression of the law and we sin today, that means there has to be a law.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that law? Well, the basic law is the Ten Commandments, and from a very spiritual point of view, it would be the Beatitudes. So there are things that we need to change in our lives because we are sinning.
Mm-hmm.
And notice also what it says here. It's quite interesting. For he shall save his people from their sins. So what does his people cover? Obviously, we're all his people, having been created and being descendants of Adam and Eve. But here it's not talking about the physical side of it. It's talking about the spiritual side, because all of the humans, of course, don't accept Jesus for the forgiveness of their sins and have not accepted Christ for the saving from his sins. So if we consider ourselves part of his people, then we have to be looking seriously at what sin is and what laws are and our relationship to those laws.
Yes, that part is very important. And when reading, even when you go back to the Ten Commandments and think about the Israelites and their journey, the one part that was missing, they had the laws and they knew them and what to follow. But what was missing was the relationship part with God. And I think that's still missing today. So, yes, He saved us from our sins. However, we do need to follow the law. But what makes it more important to me is that redemption gave me the ability to have a relationship with God. And because I have that relationship with God, those laws look a little different. I want to follow those laws. I have a desire to follow those laws. And that's something that you gain through your journey with salvation with God, is learning to build that relationship, because I think that was the missing piece within the Old Testament and the Israelites.
Definitely was. Let's go on here now to verse 22. Now all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which being interpreted is God with us. So here we have this word virgin. Behold, a virgin shall be with child, which actually is a quote from Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14.
Uncover the mystery of Adam and Eve's nakedness. Unravel the ambiguous connection between the Hebrew term for naked and the serpent's subtlety. Join us for this free mini-course and gain a profound new perspective on biblical Hebrew. TheExplanation.com/naked